This is the legacy. This is what it's all about. When we started talking about someone who would be awarded the prestigious President's Award, it really didn't take long to decide who this year's recipient would be. There was one individual who's held numerous elected offices, including a very distinguished career in Congress. And if you ever visited her in Washington, D.C., you saw Elvis, you saw Las Vegas paraphernalia. She's an unashamed cheerleader for Las Vegas then, as well as now. That career was noteworthy because she had a laser-like focus on veterans issues and senior issues. Take a look at the VA hospital in North Las Vegas, and you can see one of her numerous accomplishments. Shelley Berkeley has been there for us in good times and in bad, and she has had my back more times than I can mention. Please direct your attention to the screens.
I've known Shelley since 1968.
She was one of the first people I met when I came to Las Vegas.
The time that I spent working for her in Washington, D.C., I was honored to be a member of her congressional staff.
I've known Shelley Berkeley as a congressperson.
She's like part of the family to us.
My mom has always been wonderful to me and always been a present, caring mother. I can name a lot of great qualities she's got. Her sense of humor, her ability to get along with everybody.
She is able to muster an incredible amount of energy in both her personal life and her work life.
She's helped so many people, improving the lives of everyone in Southern Nevada.
Nobody works harder than Shelley Berkeley. She would go from one event to the other. She was just amazing, and she gives back to the community.
She puts everybody in front of herself because caring about others is what her heart's desire is. And she has done more good for more people than any one person I know.
Public service is important for her. She's just a person that I have so much respect for. Her best quality is her honesty. Ambiguity is not a word that defines her. She was always clear. Shelley not only is candid, but she's persistent, and she is tireless.
Shelley Berkeley was there at ribbon cutting, was there when grants were to be announced, but she was also there when tough questions were to be asked. She would be available, she would answer those questions. And that developed a great deal of the respect that I have for Shelley. And after interviewing Shelley 3 or 4 times, I realized Shelley was not a 30-second soundbite. And I'm lucky if I was able to get in a second question with Shelley. You'd ask her a question, and she would give you a direct answer. Then if it was a piece of legislation, she would outline the entire piece of legislation. And then she would talk about those people that were opposed to the legislation, and she would tell us why they were wrong and the history of why they're wrong. So, 15 minutes later, she has finished the answer to the first question.
One of the great things about Shelley Berkeley is she has the 3 eyes when it comes to being a good interview. She's informed, she's interesting, and most importantly, she's infinitely quotable. It was very important to recognize that it was a duty of hers as a representative to speak to the media, and she was always somebody who used the media to tell the truth, and that's very important in this day and age. Shelley Berkeley's best quality is that she always leads from the heart. She's fierce, determined, and passionate, but it's always because she knows in her heart what's right, and she knows who it is that she wants to help.
There's nothing in this community that hasn't been touched by Shelley. She was involved in everything. She's the fabric of Las Vegas, and she's really what has made Las Vegas a place that I can truly call home. Nobody loves Las Vegas and Nevada more than Shelley Berkeley, and she's taken all of that energy and that passion and invested it in making Las Vegas really one of the finest communities, I think, in the entire country. Shelley epitomizes everything that has made this community great.
Mom, congratulations and mazel tov.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Shelley.
Congratulations, Shelley.
Congratulations and mazel tov, Shelley.
Shelley Berkeley, congratulations on this President's Award.
Congratulations, mazel tov, Congresswoman Berkeley.
Congratulations, my darling friend.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome this year's recipient of the President's Award, Touro University Vice President Shelley Berkeley.
Hi, everybody. You know, there's a few criteria to get this award. One of them is you have to know Mitch Fox. The second one is he has to like you. So I am absolutely delighted that I know Mitch Fox for many, many decades now, and I am fortunate enough that he likes me, and I love him. Thank you, Mitch, wherever you are. First, I want to compliment the other people that are being honored here tonight. When we first moved to town in the early 60s, I listened to Keno Radio 24 hours a day. So to be honored with somebody that had such an important hand in the creation of that station is very meaningful to me. And the Mizrahis, they are genuinely charitable and philanthropic in this community, and I know that personally because they give Touro University every year a donation and a silent auction item for our scholarship fund. So thank you, and I'm honored and privileged to be with them tonight. I'm here with my family, Dr. Larry, my wonderful husband, my son, David Lerner, and his wife, Jessica, my son, Sam, and his wife, Vile, my son, Max, candidate for Justice of the Peace, Department 7, Berkeley. Now, nobody thought I wasn't going to do that, of course. And his wonderful wife, Kelly, they are family. They're sitting at our table. Marla and I have known each other since we were 12 and 14. And then Tommen came into her life, and he came into my life. And I love them dearly. They are family. So thank you for being always with me and together with us. My Touro family is here tonight, and so many friends that have come, and I know there's so many other things that are happening tonight, and the fact that you're all here is really amazing. Where's Tony? Tony, you're right, you can't see anything, but I'm like you. I can't ping, but Larry and I would like to make a donation to the scholarship fund like we did last year, so I'll talk to you after this is over. And I hope that everybody else joins me. If seeing those kids doesn't rock your heart, I don't know what will. There's a couple of things I want to say to the broadcasters. My grandparents on both sides came to this country to escape the Holocaust. There was no freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of the press where they came from. And when they came to our nation's shores, they came here with nothing. They couldn't speak English, they had no money, and they had limited skills. The only thing they had when they came to this country was a dream that their children and their children's children would have a better life here in the United States. I am standing here today because the United States of America took my grandparents in and not only gave them a chance to survive, which we obviously did, but gave us an opportunity to thrive. I'd like to dedicate this wonderful leadership award to every single person that is here tonight and is in the broadcasting industry, because you, each and every day, manage to keep the rest of us safe and free, and nothing is more important to a strong democracy than a free press. Now, this is not to say that I always loved everything that was written or said about me, but I never once thought that you were my enemy. You were doing your job and doing it well. And on behalf of my family, my grandparents that came to this country, and future generations of my family that will be free in the United States of America because of all of you, I want to personally thank you for making my life what it is today. Dr. Larry, could you carry this for me? I'll meet you down at the end of the ramp. Thank you all very much, everybody.
Can a watch survive the Niagara Falls test? Attached to this heavily weighted ball, can this watch take the full impact of the rocks and rapids? It's going over, watch it, down into that raging torrent, buffeted and jolted by the force of that terrific current. And here it is, still ticking away, the world's greatest watch value. I'm Lyle Van, I'm a newscaster, and I covered this Niagara Falls story. This is the watch. The 17-jewel bull of a clipper, handsome, rugged, in the charm and color of natural gold. Winds automatically with just the slightest motion of your wrist. It's anti-magnetic and features this handsome expansion band. Now the bull of a clipper is yours to try for 2 entire weeks before you pay 1 cent. Yours on the easiest of terms. Complete price from only $49.50.
Ladies and gentlemen, the silent auction is now closed. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for, the induction of the class of 2022.
Can we get Encore representatives to strike this podium, please?
All right, now as we were, the class of 2022, Joe Asen, 21 years. Joe's greatest inspiration came early on while working with the San Diego Chargers and Union Tribune. He was encouraged to move to the fast-growing market of Las Vegas. It was by far the best decision of his life. John J.B. Bernard, 30 years. J.B.'s funniest memory has to be a toss-up between doing shots of sake with Katy Perry or the time Snoop Dogg used recreational herb while live on air. It's a good thing we don't have any FCC reps here tonight. Pamela Black, 21 years. Pamela's fondest moment was when a grieving listener who recently lost his wife let Pamela know that her music and inspiring words helped him through his grieving process. Bradford Boyer, 21 years. Bradford's funniest memory in broadcasting was learning to dance from the Thunder from Down Under dancers. These moves have been beneficial ever since. Kim Burrows, 27 years. Kim's proudest moment in her broadcasting career was winning 2 Emmy Awards for 2 different drunk driving stories. Ryan Coleman, 23 years. Ryan's broadcasting inspiration was his high school video production teacher, Robin Tanner. She helped him establish a great foundation in broadcasting. Natalie Pitcher Cullen, 26 years. One of Natalie's fondest memories was having the opportunity of working every day with Gary Waddell and Paula Francis. Not only did they teach her everything about being a journalist, they did it with kindness and respect. Sean Cunningham, 25 years. Sean recalls the time when someone spilled a big gulp onto the lighting board just moments before a newscast. It was hard to keep a straight face in the control room, watching the lights flickering off and on the entire show. Maureen Drum Pulicella, 23 years. Maureen is inspired by Tony Benici. His passion, commitment, and generosity to our community is amazing. Marilyn Hart, 26 years. Marilyn recognizes Mitch Fox as an inspiration when he was her manager at Vegas PBS. He inspired her to succeed through many challenges, helping her move toward a deeper sense of purpose. She also acknowledges Hall of Fame inductee Cindy Robbins, who has been an amazing mentor. Joni Hoffman, 24 years. One of Joni's funniest memories is nearly wiping their main news anchor right out when the head of her 5-iron flew off during a golf tournament. Now, fortunately, he heard her yell, "4!" and hit the deck. Josh Little, 20 years. Josh says there's nothing funnier than to have Sugar Ray Leonard stop an interview just to tell him that his fly was down. Now, knowing that his zipper was broken, he made a production of pretending to zip up. Ramiro Lopez, 25 years. Ramiro's proudest moment in broadcasting would be launching local news at KBLR in 2014 and moving their station from downtown Fremont to a beautiful art facility. Gina Masenzi, 25 years. Gina is inspired daily by her fellow management and sales teams and watching everyone take on the challenge of an evolving industry and growing outside their comfort zones. Fred L. McCarty II, 26 years. One of Fred's funniest memories was when he got into Kings Island for free, thanks to his media passes. And afterwards, they called the station to thank them for sending their news director and invited him back. At the time, Fred was the promotions producer. Marie Mortera, 21 years. One of Marie's fondest memories has to be in watching inspiration and history unfold with the Vegas Golden Knights in their incredible inaugural playoff run. She says we celebrated both as fans and as anchors. Chris Murphy, 27 years. Though Chris's favorite anchor was Peter Jennings, he had the good fortune, while interning for CBS News in Los Angeles, of meeting the iconic Walter Cronkite. Walter was so gracious and engaging. Vanessa Murphy, 20 years. One of Vanessa's funniest memories in broadcasting was during the pandemic. While working from home, her toddler son would occasionally make an appearance during interviews and live shots. She recalls one interview, particularly with Governor Sisolak, when her son thought a discussion about dragons would be much more interesting to the governor. Paul Nelson, 21 years. Paul's inspiration in broadcasting is Kenny Mayne. Paul watched him on ESPN as he was growing up. Kenny's ability to give highlights in a funny way combined with Paul's love for sports, and that's why he decided to start a career in broadcasting. Emery Nihipali, 22 years. Emery believes that today, being inducted into the Nevada Broadcasters Association's Hall of Fame is his proudest moment in broadcasting. Jana Nunn, 31 years. Gene Spry, former general manager of Prime Cable, was Jana's biggest inspiration in broadcasting. Jana says Gene believed in me throughout my career prior to his passing. Mark Nutini, 35 years. Mark's proudest memory in his broadcasting career was helping to create a production department at KVBC that contributed to the station becoming a ratings powerhouse from 2001 to 2006. David O'Shaughnessy, 31 years. David's broadcasting inspiration comes from Trisha Keene. Trisha investigated the issues, delivers the stories that matters to the viewers. She deeply cares about her community. Mark Daniel Otto, 29 years. Mark states that bearing witness to major events, both locally and nationally, and his part in relaying that information to the public always seems to be a constant in his career. Cindy Robbins, 26 years. It's only fitting that Fred Rogers is her inspiration in broadcasting. His 1969 six-minute testimony in front of the Senate Subcommittee on Communications to save public television funding not only secured the funding, but inspires her to this day. Pio Rongavila, 28 years. Pio takes pride when assistants he has trained or sales staff he has worked with or mentored get promoted into their dream jobs. Wayne Allen Root, 31 years. Wayne takes claim to having the biggest names in politics and business on his show. But the most memorable were the 8 interviews he's had with former President Donald Trump. Ian Russell, 21 years. To this day, winning the Peabody and Duppant Awards from the coverage of the economic and housing crisis in 2010 is Ian's proudest moment in his broadcasting career. Brian Salmon, 20 years. Brian says that his proudest moments in broadcasting are in seeing the pride in his parents' faces because he's on TV, not to mention the joy he feels when his former interns land great jobs at ESPN, NFL Network, and CBS Sports. Selena Kimberly Lena Love Scott, 22 years. When asked who is her biggest inspiration in broadcasting, she answered unquestionably Oprah Winfrey. Selena says Oprah has great content, topics that are real-life relatable, interesting, and entertaining. LaToya Silman, 24 years. LaToya's funniest memory in broadcasting is the time she walked into the middle of a weathercast wearing a blanket because it was so cold in the studio. She had no idea they were live. All right. Miss Fran Sims, 20 years. Miss Sims's funniest memory was when a listener called into the request line asking if she had 50 cent. Now, Miss Sims responded that she doesn't give money out like that. Now, you can imagine how shocked she was to learn that 50 Cent is a performer that she just hadn't heard of. Darcy Spears, 27 years. Darcy's proudest moment in broadcasting was having a part in getting the old El Rancho Hotel and Casino imploded as a result of her investigation, uncovering its use as a front for a fraudulent international investment scheme. Spence, 32 years. Spence believes his fondest memories of his broadcasting career are found in the lifelong friendships he has made. He is blessed to have fellow inductees J.B. King, Hall of Famers Kat Thomas, Lori Heron, D.K. Kayla, Joe Walker, Lauren Michaels, and Sean Tempesta among his closest friends. Dr. Alan Stavitsky, 37 years. Dr. Stavitsky is the Dean of the University of Nevada, Reno's Reynolds School of Journalism and a board member of the Nevada Broadcasters Foundation. His first broadcast occurred by accident because the play-by-play announcer misplaced his glasses and asked him to read the halftime stats live on air. Kelleen Stockwell, 22 years. When asked who Kelleen's inspiration is, she says that she's inspired by several journalists such as Peter Jennings, Brian Williams, Shepard Smith, Rachel Maddow, and Sterling Morgan. Kathy Welch, 20 years. Kathy's funniest memory was while working at a TV station. She somehow got recruited to operate a puppet for a cooking show. Now, the show was a hit, at least with the inmates at the Nevada State Prison, because that's the only place they ever got fan mail from. Chad Wilcox, 20 years. One of Chad's fondest memories was the last day at KRNV. It was his 21st birthday back in 2001. He was directing live at the Great Reno Balloon Races, and it was absolutely beautiful. Now, the world changed forever just 3 days later, but he'll always have that wonderful day in Reno. Also being inducted tonight, but not in attendance, are Irene Sentry, 20 years. Mark T. Grenier, 21 years. Ken C. Johnson, 32 years. Betty Strout, 38 years. Jennifer Odom, 22 years. And Aline Sutherland, 20 years. And now, please put your hands together for the class of 2022 Hall of Fame inductees. Do they go on me? They say go? All right. Please welcome the Vice President of the Nevada Broadcasters Association and Executive Director of the Nevada Broadcasters Foundation, Eric Bonici.
Test.